Hey guys, it's Miss Matcha here. So this is part 2 of the Mermaid Hanfu, inspired by the Hezi. So as you saw in the previous video, we worked on the construction, alternations, and just getting the foundation of the Hanfu done. And in this clip, for part 2 of the Mermaid Hanfu, we are actually, for the Hezi chin, we're actually going to be working on more of the details, design elements, and more of the accessories, like bags, hair accessories that go with it. So I hope you guys enjoyed all of that bit. If you didn't watch it, go ahead and watch it. I'll link it up in the card above. But let's go ahead and move on to the second part of the Hanfu sewing. And thank you guys so much for being patient with me on part 2. And then also, sorry about the fan in the background. It is currently 85 to almost 90 degrees where I live at, and it's very hot and humid here. So I appreciate your patience, and let's get started on the video. This is what I have so far. As you can see, okay, sorry. You can see this is what the tail looks like. And it's funny because I was on the phone with Banana. She's like, that looks very iridescent. I know I'm related because I said the same thing in the beginning. Yes. It looks very pretty. I might change the ties more polyester cotton or something where it has a stiffer hold, because when I was sewing this on and I was about to tie it, I heard snap, 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 and I was like, oh no, here we go. Here we go. Okay, so we just gonna break. I might change the ties out for something else. I don't want this to wear down too much over time, because even though this is a stretch fabric, it's very delicate because it's a 4-way stretch. The way that they pattern made this, like literally printed it out, it's not made to do too much, but just enough for your basic structure to look, oh, it's party flashy. So me just using it for this even was just a little bit unbearable. And then I found out switching out the needle is actually what I needed to do. Even though the needle was fine, but whatever. But it looks really pretty. I like the way it looks. It fits me good. It doesn't feel weird. Like, I would say I probably need to wear some kind of shoes, or probably need to hem it again because it is a little bit too long. It's supposed to be at the waist like this, and I'm 5'7", mind you, and I still made it like 2 to 3 inches a little bit longer than what I need, so I could trip over this very easily if I'm not smart. This will probably be changed probably to black or dark purple. I need something to hold it up. I don't want it to keep sliding. It's a little slidey if I allow myself to be crazy. But yeah, I really love it. Let me take pictures for my Nana. As I was discussing and gushing over my excitement for the mermaid tail Poqun that I made, that was from the Tang Dynasty, I realized 2 things. One, I needed to add 2 to 1 more panel to the skirt because I have a bigger bum. And 2, I might have to replace the ties to a thicker substance so that it holds the Poqun together instead of sliding a lot, because it is a very sleek fabric as well for this elasticity. I forgot to say a few things. This is a learning project. While I was making my Poqun, I realized one thing. Well, 3 things. 1, the panels, I should have made it, I think I made up to 8 panels. Should have made 9. Let me tell you why. I realized I have a butt. Yes, I know. Weird, I know to mention, but here's the reason why. If you see the panel is like somewhat shifted, it's not all the way over, and you'll be like, oh well, see how that fits weird versus not? You have to have enough panels to do a complete circle skirt with a Poqun. And since this is elastic, it already makes it look weird. So if anyone is using this advice from this video to make a Poqun or a Tanling kind of ruchin from the Tang Dynasty, I will say, please make sure you make the panels a bit more. Like, I did 8. I should have did 10. I did 8. I feel stupid. Fine, we learn, we progress, we grow. I say that because your body has a lot to do with it, honey. This is not a bad thing for me personally with this outfit, because this is just going to be the underskirt for the actual Hanfu for the mermaid outfit. So for me, it's not a bad thing. No one's gonna keep staring at my butthole, so I'm fine. It's gonna be under the Hezi chin. For me, it's not a bad thing, but if you're gonna use an underlayer skirt, whether it's a Poqun or any other skirt, keep that in mind. Do not mess up. With this next scene, I actually decided to start gluing on the pearls instead of sewing it, just because it made it a bit more easier for me to kind of do this. It probably would have took a lot longer, but some of these have been falling off, so I might actually have to go back and hand stitch everything, or stitch the ones that I need to add reinforcement on. But so far the glue has held most of it in. As long as you're doing it slowly and carefully, you should be set. You always lay on my fabric when I'm about to sew. Every time. I never get a dull moment because look. Jack, what are you doing? Never a dull moment when I sew. I love you. Boop. He does this around whenever I sew or move stuff. He'll lay next to things. On this day, it was actually my birthday, so please disregard my pink outfit. But today we're going to be adding some trim that I got from Joann's, if not Hobby Lobby, I believe. I actually was able to add this sequence kind of mermaid scale inspiration to the Hezi chin to see if how that would embellish it while still giving it a nice clean look. I did add 2 rows of just the sequence trimming because I wanted to see how we can bring more of the scales that a mermaid would have without overdoing it, so that we don't have too much going on but just enough to kind of complement the designs of the Hanfu. Now, as far as I'm concerned, if you're curious on where I got the actual Tulle kind of mermaid coils from, I did get that from the Yaya Han brand at Joann's, and it is like kind of this mermaid coil of a fish kind of coil you can get. I did get it. It was like $8 a yard, so it was pretty pricey. So if you could find something very similar for more affordable or efficient pricing, I would definitely suggest that, if not making your own. I just didn't have that much fabric or enough money, creativity to make it on my own without it being a whole longer process. So I just bit the bullet and the wallet and just went the shorter yet expensive route, so to say. Now, I will say that adding the actual Tulle kind of trimming here to the sleeve was very much optional. The next thing I'm going to do, much of a mess happening, distracting. The next thing I'm going to try to do is take this attachment and add it to the end of this sleeve. There's this whole sleeve and it looks better with more added to the end. So I'm going to take this attachment and add it to the sleeve, make it look like I have wind kind of like tails at the end. It looks more cohesive like that, so we're gonna add that in there. Surprisingly, sewing the trimming on wasn't a hard process, but it's just a very tedious time process to sew it all cohesively, so you don't have to repeat the process again. Even though I really loved how this trimming turned out and made me feel more elegant on top of things, I wanted to add a step further, which I hated the most, which is adding pearls to the end. And what I mean by adding pearls is adding detailed pearls hand stitched to the bottom, because of course I gotta be extra. Oh, you sleepy. You sleepy child. Here's what it looks like when you add the trimming on it, and of course I did not add the pearls or fix the placket just yet, but this is what it looks like once you add the trimming. It adds more of a dramatic flair of elegance and more of a fantasy look, which I was looking for, especially for this design. And then from there I can kind of discuss more about how I attach the pearls. Fast forward 2024 Matcha. This thing, it took me a year to make, off and on. This is kind of what I was thinking of doing on the bottom of the Daxiushan. I might make it go a little bit lower, but I don't know. Because the thing is, we're cutting out this little area. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it at the bottom. First, I was going to put it like right here on the side lining, because that would have been really pretty, but I think it would contrast a lot to the upper part and distract away from the middle. For the sleeves here, I'm going to try to add in some coral bits and add a trimming, because as you can see, it looks pretty, but it's very bland. You want the attention to come towards it, so when I open my arms, you see like the whole centerpiece, right? So you want to make sure your kind of like your window shutters look better. What am I saying? I need my window shutters to be up to date and looking great, okay? My window shutter is looking kind of bland right now. That's what I'm trying to watch a movie as I do this because Mother Nature gave me another gift yesterday besides my birthday. So I'm gonna start sewing this and lay down and watch probably The Little Mermaid because it's something to distract my brain as I hand stitch all the pearl and embellishments. So I just realized something. So I screenshotted this girl's video because she had like a very short clip of it. Little like beads that go across here. You can see it. And then beautifully, intricately designed. So I like how it goes across, and I'm thinking I might do that for this and just make it the different colors. And for like the fins are very much like what I also want to get inspiration from. I'm going to try to make it with wire and just fabric instead of like some other stuff. I don't know how well that's going to work. We're going to give it a try. I am done with the underskirt, which is very good news. The only thing I have to fix on this is that she needs to fix her sleeves here to add more colors in here because it's very bland right now. The placket needs to have more colors as well. Like I'm thinking of adding a tulle in the middle. As far as this with the sleeves, I think I'm gonna just go ahead and color them to bring out the color. I'm gonna use some acrylic colors and then cover it with Mod Podge, and then I'm gonna add some glitters on top of those colors so it can bring out the mermaid like essence of the fantasy element I'm trying to bring out without it being overbearing. For the next part of this clip, I'm actually using the Elmer's glue and using more of a thicker, if not also a thinner glitter to help show the level dynamics and shape. And then I'm going on and doing the ear accessories. Now I did use aluminum wire. You can get it at any craft store to do this. I did look at some references through Pinterest as well to get a good visualization and draw down a draft before I started completing it onto the actual wiring frame. As far as a tutorial or an how-to do this, I will link a video down below to show how they have made it from the structure, because there's an older video and a better one for this because I don't have that specialty. Now for the next step is just hand stitching. It did take me a while to do the ending embroidery at the end of this, as well as doing the ear fins hand stitching for the fawn of this. I almost forgot the material for a second. But it did take me a while to bend it and put the pearls in. So take your time doing this if you do something similar, because it does take a lot of time and effort and you don't want to make mistakes. What I did after I hand stitched it, I actually used either E6000 or some hot glue to close up all the stitchings, and so that nothing moves or frays when I wear it practically on my ear, and then just use a lighter to close off the ends and trimmed off the edges basically of the fabric on the ear fin. So for the mermaid clips, like for the hair pieces, this is how I have it looking so far. Once I've coated it with this unicorn kind of like top coat, this is how it should look like. It is so pretty. Look how that shines. That shines so well, even in the shade. See that glare? I know this is kind of funny. I have to clean it up because of the glue. But so far it is really, really pretty. I'm still technically working on the ears. I haven't quite got the design I wanted to for them because the way that it looks. Sorry, I've got a lot of bug bites and breaking out. So here are the ears. I've even, I haven't really like finished doing the edge clearings for it. Like I do like a fray check to clean up all these edgings. And if you can see in the top corner, I put right, R for right, right ear, left ear for the other one. I make sure that each ear is going to be looking accordingly. I'm really excited for this Hanfu because I have worked on this for probably 3 years, but the best part about it is that it is coming together. Oh, I almost showed her. She ain't ready yet, not yet. My birthday is on a Monday and I want to go to the aquarium on my birthday because it's free. It's free that day. So I'm gonna see if I can work out a schedule with one of my relatives to take me there and take pictures of me, because that would really come in handy for that. I'd really appreciate it. And so she did, and here's how it looks. Super quick because I only got 3 minutes, but so with this video, I will not lie, it was actually a very longevity process for 3 years, almost 4, to finish this Hanfu. And some people might not think, oh, it might not look that great, but for me, it took a long time because I had been sent to the hospital. I was actually in and out of jobs twice because of racism. You know, everybody loves when your boss is racist, but that's besides the point. Making this outfit was actually a very interesting project, and it made me want to do more intricate Hanfus and more detailed ways that I can pay more attention to. I challenged myself when I literally least expected it, and I'm very happy as I did not expect myself to rise above the standard or above what my insecurities or fears or failures have given me. I will say, like, there's things I could change, like the hairstyle to be more form-fitting for my silhouette. There's certain parts, like the underskirt was a little bit too weirdly stretched the way that its threads were, so I needed to add more paneling on the interior skirt, as well as the actual is attached to the chin. It was length of the hemming was way too long, so if you see a little short reel on Instagram of it looking weird, I safety pinned it because I had no other choice. But and I had a friend actually help me too because I was walking around DreamHack with it. Like, I needed to sew the beads more right here in the bust area better. Even if I glued it, it still would have been much more better. Less beads kept falling off. Like, I felt like I was a mermaid actually crying and throwing beads everywhere I was going. It also, I guess, added charm to its own dress. I will say, like, it was very much a success. There's a lot I learned from with this experience, and literally when I wore it to a convention besides the Mermaid aquarium, a lot of people respected it, and a lot of people were like, oh, are you dressed up as someone? I'm like, well, I made this myself. Actually, a lot of people that followed me from there, so if you're watching this, thank you so much. I love you. Thank you for saying what you say, because it made me feel so much better about being myself and being a seamstress for Hanfu. Okay, but I am more honest on wearing it now and more wearing Hanfu and being myself more, because I was afraid that the world did not need my craft. Every day when I look at new comments, even on really old videos, it still makes an impact. So thank you for making that impact. I hope to make more sewing videos, and going forward, if you see me in this outfit, I'm about to head out to work. Say this: don't give up on your dreams, don't give up on yourself, don't give up on your life. You never know who will actually need to hear it, because every different person is like different parts in the store. You never know what person might need you versus what you might need in them. and what you are to others. Don't forget to spread peace, love, and happiness, and it's only up to you to make every day beautiful. I'll see you ladies and gents later. Bye. Good night. Have a good night. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye-bye.